Excuse me, Mr. Preacher Man. You got time for a sinner? I've been literally saying that for the past like 20 hours, dude.
So before I get into this review, I'm going to be going over how my rating system works. So 10 to 7 is a positive review for the movie, with 10 being an absolute beautiful day. 9? It's a 9. Watch the movie. 8 is great. 7 is good. 6 to 4, now getting into the mixed section, with 6 being a possible good. 5, a 50-50. 4, not quite bad, but you get a pass. 3 and under, now being in the negative section, with 3 being bad, 2 being really bad, 1 being the gates of hell, and 0 being nowhere you want to go. So let's get this started.
So The Devil All the Time is a psychological mystery crime thriller that dropped on Netflix, I believe on September 16th. And I just watched the film last night, and I haven't slept since. So the first thing I'm going to talk about in this film is Bill Skarsgård. He is the first thing that actually caught my attention positively. Not just his performance, but the character that he plays both really grabbed me and kept me. Another thing was the world around the movie. It does very well with capturing the essence of West Virginia. And honestly, I could do with or without the narrative pieces in this film, because there is a lot of narration. So I don't feel like it was 100% needed, but I also understand just because of the tone of the film. A mixed thing for me, though, was the writing. It's very detailed, but it's a little bit weaker in some aspects as well. It switches from a lot of dialogue to great effects and cinematography to narration, and it does it sometimes in a manner that I personally just wouldn't do with the time that the film chose. But in saying that, the movie for the most part does well with keeping up its pace. Although, and this is a bit of a spoiler, a lot of the characters do just kind of come and go with great performances in saying that, but because of their rapid just kind of like in and out with screen time, that was kind of a bit of a downer for me. It kind of affected like the aspect of me actually like getting connected with the character. Bill Skarsgård, for the time that he's in the film, is incredible. And speaking of acting, Harry Milling, for example, gets more to work with when it comes to his share, in my opinion. And it's not that he didn't do a good job. He kept his shit together, and he gave it his all, but for some reason, he just didn't have as much of an effect on me as, for example, Bill Skarsgård. And it could be because he may not be labeled as like one of the bigger actors currently, and maybe some of the characters that the bigger actors took on were maybe more explicit and more challenged. But Milling's character was still deep and involved enough, but it just didn't hit me. And honestly, same thing from Holland to some degree. He has a very offering role and a very driven character, and while yes, his character grabs attention, it didn't quite leave too much of a linger completely, and it did honestly take some time to fully connect to him in the film. But overall, he still tackles a lot in many different ways and does it both challengingly and comfortably. And in my opinion, still does a lot for the viewers. But again, the fair nature of the film, as well as what we do get out of the performers, and the film's not necessarily writing or even story, but its limits, what it asks from the viewers themselves, is what really kept me attached to it. I overall found this film more daring than anything. There are definitely scenes that are depicted in a very dark manner, but this film didn't seem to cause the ruckus that had been labeled, or honestly that I wish it had. It's sure as hell a film that is dependent on darkness, but I wouldn't say that it necessarily gave what anticipates are going to be going in for. Though the film still, at the end of the day, has a lot to give and a lot to take from, and felt like, in a very bleak manner, kind of a soothing experience. I have a big tolerance for shit, and maybe I expected a little too heavily from this film due to its hype, rating, subject matter, advertising. And again, this film touches on, for the most part, adjustably with its material. And I think a handful of people will see this as a rough experience and may need to take deep breaths here and there. But I overall did feel pretty taken by the film. It just wasn't quite what I thought it was going to be. Overall, I'm going to give The Devil All the Time a very high 6.9. I know, wow, what a troll, fellas. Just give it a fucking 7, Stuart. Just call it a good movie. Well, I have said the review, you have heard the review, and hopefully you liked the review. I do have a couple reviews that I'm currently working on. Yes, I'm still working on Parasite. I'm working on a video discussing my kind of feelings on the platform as well, so that'll be kind of a different video, as well as a final update video for Pragmatophobia, which has already kind of been filmed. It is in the editing process right now, so yes, you can expect this bad boy getting a full-on review finally. And here's the big one, fellas. 100 subscribers special. We'll see. But yes, that was my thoughts on The Devil All the Time. Let me know what you guys think. This is definitely a better movie, I thought, of the year. It was right on the nose of being a good movie. But again, at the end, I just didn't feel like it was what I wanted from the movie. Straight up. Plain and simple. But yes, I have a couple reviews coming up. Parasite, possibly The Room, Antebellum very soon. And I might even review the Super Mario 3D All-Stars collection on the Switch coming out. So I'm going to be a busy fella. Again, let me know what you guys thought of the movie, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you.